Welcome to the Ascension Alchemist podcast. This is your host, Michael Abramson, and I welcome you to my solo episode in which I'm so grateful and so happy that you're joining me today. And as many of you may have followed or known that I just celebrated my 50th birthday, my 5.0 as I call acceleration in life, and recently just returned back from mainland America. And so I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's podcast because it's going to be a very special one. I feel entering this fifth decade, it's brought a great level of wisdom and a lot of clarity of what happens, what we can do for our health when we can follow our heart and into our dreams. And that's where I really like to start today because I feel many of us, especially in a male body, there's many times we want to follow this mind because the mental body is very masculine. And even many females and many genders, this mental body tends to direct us. But what happens when you can really boost your health by following your heart, especially into your dreams? And tonight I'd just like to share that it's been a dream to really expand, illuminate, and move myself in areas that I could really feel the fullness of life. And there was no better place I could imagine than Kauai. It's been on my bucket list, and I've always dreamed of going there because I know this place has such a heart-centered vibration, a frequency that when you enter it, it fully captures you. And many have called this the heart chakra of the world, even though Glastonbury and other places have been deemed that. Yet, I want to ask each and every one of you, when and if there's a dream out there of what happens when you just let go of the mental body, you let go of the costs, the plane tickets, the time, and you just allow yourself to follow your dreams from your heart, meaning you let your love and joy and excitement lead the way. Have you ever noticed what happens when you just give yourself the opportunity and you put everything into that desire and watch what happens? How many of you felt that when you've really let go of some of the areas that could prevent you, the limitations, the time, the flight, the expenses, and you just allowed yourself to go into utter joy? Well, that's what I did. I actually went a little further because not only did I follow my dreams, but I did a lot of first-time experiences. And these dreams are all fueled by my heart. Even before I left, I had to let go of the mental body because Honey convinced me to use my points that I saved up and go first class. And I've never gone first class in my whole life. I've actually thought all the plane tickets that we need to get from here to Hawaii, to Kauai, and back to LA, that I'd use all my points. But she recognized one thing. When we have a dream and we want to follow it, we want to live it so that we can remember it and look back and saying, did I fully experience it to the highest level? And even though I resisted at first in the mind, I let my heart step back and say, wow, what would it feel like being in my 50th year to experience something brand new? And not only go to a destination that I felt I would live one of my greatest dreams, but to travel there and to be rewarded in a way that it could be felt like a king. I could be treated first class as each and every one of us should be treated. And go ahead and just let all the points ride and take an 11-hour flight from Washington, D.C. straight to Honolulu. And that's exactly what I did. And it was so funny because on the way, I felt like a kid in a chocolate factory. I was literally pushing all the buttons. I must have been asking, since we get free drinks, sparkling water every pass, all of the meals, all of the whistles, bells and whistles. I was like, bringing the seat down all the way to the flat line, checking out all the first class amenities. And it just brought this heart spirit up into a way that I feel we all should be treated. With love, with respect, and with this great honor. And that really opened up the door for my heart to enjoy what I believe is an experience that we should all have. And that's to let our love lead us into our greatest heart's desires, our greatest heart's dreams. And that's exactly what I did when Honey and I arrived to Kauai. that embraced us, that allowed us, and to really bring forth what I saw, a reflection of the energy that you bring into a magical place. Have you ever been to a place that's been so sacred that you know whatever you come into that land, it's going to magnify it right back out at you? For those that have never been to Kauai, the one thing that I learned that was so rich in the depth that I experienced was the raw elements that literally froze you in the magnificence it had to represent itself. From the sun and the fiery warmth that would just purify you when you were in that island energy and allow everything just to melt away, because when you're in Hawaii, that wonderful sun that you're very close to the equator really brings this beautiful cleansing of just warmth and transformation. And then, of course, if those that have gone to Hawaii, imagine going to the rawness of Hawaii, where you see phenomenal 1,000-year-old banyan trees, or you see just cliffs, the raw sea, the sand, in such a powerful, clear, and authentic, untouched level. Plants, flowers, fruits, so pure that the essence of them allow that essence within me to feel what it was like to just touch in a very, very sacred land. Even when you walk on the earth of Hawaii, you can see how the soil has this rich redness to it. When you look at the cliffs and the rocks, there's this jagged, real, raw area. And when you're walking the beach, the sand and the energy there just grounds you deep to the root of yourself, which only provides this deep presence in which it's so hard to focus on anything else because your eyes are just glued to the plants, the caves, the cliffs, the ocean, the exotic nature of what this island represents, especially if you're in the north end, which we were so grateful to stay in Hanalei Bay. And so I share this because when we get in touch with these elements and you allow yourself to feel the presence of them, it gives you this heart-opening experience that reminds you how related we are to the elements of life. Even within the water, when I had the opportunity to surf and to just float and look at the mountains where they met the sea, and you could see the transition of the water rising up with the waves to the rocky shores or to the beaches, and how that merged into these beautiful grassy hill mountains or filled with exotic plants. It just gave this feeling, which many know from ancient Lemuria, this peace, this purity, and this true authentic realness. And for me, I feel many of us right now are getting in contact with that realness, that authentic nature, because we're shedding and releasing. And as we've entered this year of the fire horse, we're recognizing our true purpose is within us. Yet when you visit a sacred land, that reflects it right back to you in the elements, and it shares that wisdom of just by being in the silence of hearing the wind, hearing the sounds of the birds, and just bringing you back to the heart of what is natural, what is real, what is really important in life, because sometimes it just takes a sacred island, a sacred time to sit and recognize the peace of what's already there. And that peace that surrounds automatically reflects that peace within and magnifies it. And that's where I felt that magnification in my heart and the dream to explore Hawaii, whether it was taking a wild boat ride around the Nopali cliffs and seeing the beautiful sun turn into huge swells into rain, and seeing 400 side cliffs turn to 4,000 cliffs with whales popping out, or discovering these huge caves that you'd walk into and it'd be the largest cave of vases that you can keep walking deeper under these mountains. Or literally witnessing banyan trees or plant vegetation that when you stare at them, you could literally get lost in just the artistic beauty of what this island holds. Sometimes in life we have to take a pause and we just have to celebrate ourselves like we've never celebrated ourselves before. And what happens if in this moment, whether it's a beautiful island in Kauai or a beautiful park or a beautiful river or a sea or a canyon, that you give yourself the chance just to get lost in the beauty of it, in the nature of it. Because what I learned from Hawaii is it places you in this purity of essence that's not only in you, but it's all around you. And when you connect it in your heart and you allow those dreams to flourish in just the excitement of experiencing it, it starts to open up a whole new facet within myself. A facet that I started to recognize once I immersed myself in these areas. It started to expand my consciousness of how fortunate and how grateful we are to have magical places like this to replenish us, to nourish us, and to fill ourselves up with that love, which I feel is the essence of who we are. And that love in Kauai is so palpable because all it takes is diving into some of the tropical fruit from the mangoes, or what a new one was a finger lime that I've never even experienced. These beautiful limes that look like a finger. When you open them up, it almost looks like caviar, but with a unique taste. The raw coconuts, the star fruits, with a whole different taste than you would experience from mainland America, because the roots and the nature is just so extreme that it just gives you that feeling that you're tasting something so pure that it really recalibrates your body. Now, of course, with all those experiences, it can also create a little shaking. The first 2 days were amazing with the sun, where we were able to hike and explore all these avenues. But as the rains came and the rawness of the wind, which I really appreciated because I got to see the full circle of Kauai, it started to bring what I call a washing away. Even when we saw the mountains turn to falls, waterfalls, we had an experience where on our last day, the winds and rain came so hard, it almost sounded like a hurricane, that Honey actually went into a very traumatic experience. And so as you're sometimes witnessing the fruits and essence of life in its highest nature, it can also bring up some of those areas that are meant to wash away. And so we had a morning where Honey wanted to leave because she literally thought the island was going to sink due to the massive rains that were pouring down for 24 hours. And I learned, as many of you know from the hurricanes in Florida and just my ability to navigate through peace, how important it is to stay in the eye of the storm. No matter how hectic, chaotic the winds, the rain may be on the outside, it's so important to root, as I saw these trees, deep within and feel the security and safety within yourself, especially in God's truth that we're going to be okay, no matter how hard the winds are, no matter how hard the rains are and flood reports. We're still in a position that the chairs aren't flying off the balcony, the house is not caving into the gorge, which Honey thought both were going to happen, and most important, to stay in that trust and faith that what I was brought into, I will move out of. And it's such an important level to feel, because sometimes when we're in a storm, we can easily get caught in the wind and rain and pain around it. Yet I learned, as I stay in that eye, in that calmness, nothing can affect you, just like the center of the eye of a hurricane. And that's where it helped Honey wash away a lot of these past experiences of what storms have done in the past, especially in Florida. So it's wild when you could take yourself and put yourself in some of the most beautiful, amazing situations. And even the extreme elements that bring that presence can also shift in a moment where all of a sudden what may seem so peaceful and beautiful can shift into chaos. And even those elements really bring a respect and honor, because it shows how we're able to bring that sense of control, of bringing that stabilization in our heart, in our mind, and most important, in our focus attention of how we move through situations like this. It made me really grateful to see that these elements in this land of Kauai, how it can bring certain avenues that we look in life right now. How in one moment it can be sunny, it can be beautiful. In the next moment, there can be torrential rains and heavy waters. Yet what do we do when we're in both? We embrace and surrender and stay in the moment. We allow ourselves to stay focused on one step and one breath. Even in the wonderful hikes that Honey and I took down, it was important to watch and feel and look at each step because it was such a jagged, rugged trail that it took each moment to stay in the presence. And you know what I've really understood about being in that presence is when we're focused truly in this now, there's no stress, worry, anxiety that's affecting us because we're literally do not have the time to think of the past or future where stress only exists. We can only stay in that presence now. And when you're surrounded by the essence of the world, which many know that this island holds such a rich nature, it envelops you and encaptures you of what we are. And that's God essence. That's what this island is made of. And when you see it in such an authentic, raw, and real form, it gives you this nature of how profound and powerful of what we have inside our own essence. And then when you meet it in its own play, in its own joy. And as many of you know, I played a game on my birthday of where I was. And I wanted to bring that celebration throughout the week of bringing joy, fun, because as I bring forth what I said in the beginning, the greatest thing you can do for your health is to follow your heart and the dreams that you want to create. And many times we have all these dreams and desires and say one day. But why not splurge? Why not take yourself out on a first class ticket and just say, okay, I am worth that. I am valuable of that. It is time for me to treat myself special and to celebrate myself because this life is but a short journey. And when we can embrace it with great places like Kauai, then it opens ourselves up into this higher love and this higher respect. And in this higher love, Honey and I have had this vision that we want to bring our higher love through what we do in our own creations. That is why, for all that on our anniversary on 2/22, this Sunday at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time, we're actually going to have a free masterclass of higher love in relationships. Not just relationships with your partner, but relationships in all aspects of your life. So for those that are interested, please email us at info@ascensionalchemist.com. As well, a week from tomorrow, I'll be continuing my monthly Conscious Evolved Men's online Zoom gathering. And this is another free opportunity for men to gather throughout the world to express the fullest version of themselves and to bring forth that wonderful engagement of a safe, honorable, respectful circle that we get to sharpen our iron, hold a vision, respect and build community and brotherhood. And to me, I feel as we move into this year of the fire horse, as I just move through this 50th birthday, we're moving into greater purpose. We're moving into greater clarity. And we're moving into areas that we're able to bring our greatest gifts, our greatest ability to truly live the life our soul always wanted to do. And that's where it comes from, that higher love. It comes from that expression of the joy and happiness that when we give our chance to embody that within ourselves, we share that with each and every person around. I felt like I was a little kid in Hawaii because each time I went out, there was such this joy that whoever I met could feel this radiation, this emanation, because it felt like I just stepped off the mainland and entered this magical island where dreams came true, whether it was whales that would flash and jump up in their mating season, or whether it was hiking and just smelling the raw essence of the flowers, or seeing the seas in such a rugged nature that it brought back of how special, beautiful, and amazing world we live in. And imagine, we are in unison of unity and reflection of that special sacred nature that's within us. And when we can align to that within ourselves and this beautiful Mother Earth, then it catapults us to where I feel now, a higher level of rejuvenation and regeneration. Many of you know when you step into the essence of nature, it automatically fills the life force within you. Now imagine what happens when that life force radiates that higher love through you, that now it becomes the opportunity you get to share with each being, each relationship, and each opportunity in the circles you choose to be a part of. And that's why I'm so grateful to work with men, to bring them together and to bring this essence and remembrance. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity where Honey I can reflect in what we've gone through in these 10 years to share the essence of this higher love and what it's done for us. Most important, I'm grateful for the ability to have the courage and strength to let the limitations of the mind go and bring that essence into the heart and really follow what it wanted to do. Because I had reservations before. I thought maybe I should go to Sedona. It's much closer to Maryland. Hawaii might be too far. But then I felt in my heart, where does my heart want to go? Where does it want to be sent off into this realm of celebration? Because really, we don't celebrate ourselves enough. And even sometimes people feel we can't celebrate because there's too much suffering and sorrow. Yet, celebration is the motion of gratitude that we can give to ourselves every day. And as we celebrate, we lift and elevate and align to our life force energy. Even in the most tragic situations, we can celebrate these beautiful eyes that can see, this beautiful breath that breathes, these great feet that walk. Every moment is an opportunity of celebration. And that's where I'd like to thank each of you for being here on tonight and listening to this wonderful podcast. And I'm still filled with this aloha energy, these aloha blessings. And most important, all those that celebrated me, all those that sent the birthday blessings, the wishes, and just what I call the friendships of lifetimes, where we always catch up where we last left off. That celebration energy is here at any moment. And for me, turning 50, which I feel like is the new 30s, that's what I really feel, gave the opportunity to celebrate what life has to offer. And jumping into an island that has such an amazing offering of the fire of the sun and the rugged land of the earth and the magical oceans of water and the fierce winds really brings in how fortunate we are to live in this world, to celebrate it and to honor it. For those that also may have missed my birthday podcast, I am doing some amazing specials. So those that would love to jump in, I'm actually giving 50% off my self-developmental programs, mentorships. I'm also cutting 50% off my master 4 keys to master your health. And I'm doing specials with what I'm doing and cultivating now. So all you have to do is contact Michael Abramson at info@ascensionalchemist.com to learn more, because I've learned that celebration is something that we can do more than a day, more than a week. I'm celebrating this birthday for a month and honoring my celebration with each of you by creating specials and all the services that I'm doing. And that's what I did on my birthday by playing some games, having some fun, sending out meditations to those that could guess what magical island I'm on. Every opportunity is a great time to celebrate. And what happens if you could celebrate yourself like you've never celebrated, even if it's just a day of going to a spa, a day of being pampered, a day of just feeling like you deserve this moment to just take a pause out of that fast-paced, busy life and come back to your heart. Let love lead the way and know that you are deserving, worthy, and so valuable to see the love and feel that love in places that can emanate that love, so you can remember how loved you are. So thank you all for the wonderful celebrations. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday, February 22nd at 2:22 p.m. Please RSVP at info@ascensionalchemist.com. And then next Thursday, February 26th, I will be doing another monthly Conscious Evolved Men's Circle online. It is such a blessing to be here and for all of you to listen. And once again, thank you for taking this time and joining and feeling the aloha blessings, because I truly feel blessed by each of the listeners, each of the friends, and each of the moments that we get to celebrate this life together, because life truly is a celebration. And I'm grateful that I could celebrate it with each and every one of you. So wishing you all a most beautiful, blessed day. Until next time, aloha.